Hey everybody, this is Anthony from Into the Darkroom, and today we're talking about the Hampton HTML5 website template. And I want to go over the design panel with you so that you can see what your options are, and to kind of give you a jump start and a tour to make it a little bit easier on figuring out how to set up the design for your template. So I'm in the design panel, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the settings tab. This is going to be the first tab that we're going to cover. And the first option here is image caption background color. So what you're going to notice is if I go to the website and we have an image in an album, you can go ahead and turn on image captions, and it's good for search engine optimization. And what you can see here is the caption would be down here. It's on a strip that has a transparency, and it has a title and a description. And if you go to your settings, the image caption background is going to go ahead and be this gray strip here. And then the foreground is going to be the text color, and then the opacity is going to change the opacity of this strip here. So if you want to make it darker, you can. If you want to make it lighter or more see-through, you can as well. If you want to change the colors of any of our options, you can either just click here and pick a color, or you can go ahead and type in the hex code here from Photoshop. So that applies to any of these color options here. And then if you want to change the image opacity, whenever you see a toggle like this, you can just move it up and down, and then you just make sure you hit save at the bottom here. The next thing is the album arrow colors and the foreground colors. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our album, and you can see here that we have the album arrows right there. And if I scroll down, you can see that we have album arrows here, and we have other options in here. I'm going to go ahead and shift this over a little bit, and you'll be able to see some of the other controls that we have right here. And those are the controls that we're talking about when we're talking about this template. So I'm going to go ahead and shift this back, and let's take a look at the settings. So we have the album arrow colors, we have the foreground colors for the controls, we have the album control highlights. That's just going to be when you roll over those controls so that people know that they're clickable. And then you have the thumbnail arrows that I showed you. You also have the thumbnail height and the thumbnail width. So that's going to refer to these thumbnails right here. If you want them square or rectangular, you can go ahead and change the dimensions there. The next thing we're going to talk about is the contact form color. So those are these right here. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the contact page so that we can take a look at it. And the first option is the contact form background valid color. That's just this white background in here. So if you want to change that, if you're maybe doing darker colors, you can go ahead and change that color there. The contact form stroke valid color is the black or dark gray line that's around it. You can also change that as well. The contact form background invalid color is if somebody goes to submit the form and they haven't fully filled it out yet, any required fields, it's going to go ahead and change that color. Right now we just kept it at white, but you'll see that the stroke will turn red based on this option right here. So you can change you can make it all red so it's easy for people to find, or you can just simply do the stroke. The contact form text color is going to be right here where it says name or email address, and then the contact form placeholder color, this right here, is going to be where it says like your email or your name goes here, so that you can prompt people and help them out when they're filling that out. So now let's go ahead and move on to the logo. You have the primary logo that's going to be in the navigation. And so if we open up the navigation bar, you're going to see this primary logo right here. You have a couple of different options. The first option that I want to show you is where you can actually upload a logo. So it's this option right here where it says site logo. You can upload new, and you can create your own transparent ping or JPEG, and you can go ahead and put it in there. And then if you are going to display it as retina, which is this option here, and you mark it as true, you're going to want to just double the pixel size of that so that it can display it as retina. So you have the option to just upload it. If you don't want to upload it and you just want to type in a name, you can go ahead and just type the text right here. And right now it says logo text, and you can see that it says logo text right there. And if you want to, you can go ahead and upload a font. And I'm not going to cover fonts in this video, but you can go ahead and find a video on fonts and some directions on how to use the uploader for fonts. So you can upload a font so that it's your specific font. And if you do this, you're going to want to make sure that you go to the fonts tab and you want to where it says use default fonts, you want to check that as false because you're going to go ahead and use your own fonts. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to logo. So again, you can upload a font here and type in the text there, and then you can change the color of that text here. You can change the logo margin, so the margin is going to be the space around this logo and how far it is from the navigation. And then you can change the logo text size. So if you want that text to be larger or smaller, you can go ahead and just use this toggle and play around with that. And then you can link to a page you created, or you can type in a URL here. So you can just type http://www. and then whatever the link that you want that logo to link to is. So you can go ahead and pick if it's going to open in the same window or a new window. Chances are, if it's linking within the site, like to the home page, you'll just use the same window. You don't want it to open a new browser. And then for mobile views, you can decide if it's centered, left, or right. So now let's go ahead and go to the splash. The splash page also has, I'm going to go ahead and move over to our splash page here, has a different logo here because they're different sizes. So when we're talking about that splash logo, it's all the same options for the logo. So you can go ahead and upload a logo or just type in a logo. Like right now we have it just typed in right here and it appears right there. And it has similar settings like margins and text size and so on. So you can go ahead and just add that logo to the splash page. And then when we go to the body, you have items like padding tightness. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our info page. And the padding tightness is going to be this space here. So if you turn the padding down to 0, all this text is going to come flush with that image. So if we go back to our backend here, you have this toggle that you can move up and down to decide the padding tightness. I actually like a lot of padding there, so I have it set up to 50. The body background color is going to be found throughout the site, but it would be like behind this image right here. I'll get to this space later. And then you have the navigation width, navigation background color, and navigation background opacity. I'm going to cover those first. So if we open up the navigation, you're going to see that this white color is the background color. The width is the width right here. And then we also have the opacity. So I have this set to 100%, this white, but I can turn it down and it'll make it transparent. And so if you want that look, you can make it transparent. If you choose to use the transparency, you can also come in here and do a navigation menu layer opacity. And what that'll do is that'll layer the background menu so that it's actually easier to see your text on that opaque background. And then we have some overlays here that we have to deal with. So the splash overlay, color, and opacity. We have the album overlay, color, and opacity, and the grid item overlay, color, and opacity. Anytime we're talking about those, you can see there's a slight gray here, and that makes the text fall on that gray a little easier, and it's easier to read. Where it's really obvious is when you go to a page like this and you have these rollovers. And so that background opacity is going to be that color and then the percentage of opacity that you want to use there. So now if we go to the background tab, the background tab is going to be covering this area right here. So anywhere that there is a background where text is going to fall on, it's going to be these colors right here. Notice we have two colors. We have a top and we have a bottom. If you want them to be a solid color, you just put the same code in both spots. If you want them to blend into each other, you add a different code and the two colors will actually blend into each other. So if you want to add an image to the background, you would click Upload New and you would add your image there, and then you have options to fill frame, tile, horizontal, and so on. So those are your options. I hope that gives you a jump start in the Hampton template, and I hope you watch this video and you learn something about it. If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to contact us at support.intothedarkroom.com. Thanks so much.